This is me and my daughter at Red Rocks, seeing Top Gun at Red Rocks a couple summers ago. This is Grant. He's going to probably be an engineer. He hopes to move to Germany. Jack loves every sport. We went out to Homestead. If you guys know Homestead, he parred the first 2 holes the first time around.
Nice.
Don't know where he got that from. It's not me. He likes to swim. Long story short. And this is birthday dinner. That's my sister, Jack, me, my mom, my daughter and her boyfriend, and Grant over here. So that's up to there. And anyway, my mom and my son. And
So that was it.
that's it. We can move on to the presentation. So today, basically, what I want to talk to you guys about was Medicare. And I'm going to keep it really brief. This is a 64-page presentation. We trimmed down to about 8. So just kind of touch on the high points related to Medicare. And so we can move on to the next slide. The key thing I wanted you to see on this on Medicare is that 11,200 baby boomers come into Medicare every day. And the point of that is going to be top of mind for most of them because there's a ton of them out there. They're wanting to talk about it. They don't know who to go to. They don't know who to talk to. And so, this should be, it's going on all around. It should be a relatively easy referral on that one too. And the most common time when people enroll is when they turn 65. Debating if we should go on the next slide. Let's go on the next slide here, actually. One more. So there's 3 ways to qualify for Medicare. The main one is when they turn 65. And when you think about passing a referral to me, usually by the time somebody is 64, once they turn 64, this is going to be top of mind for them. It's going to be top of mind for a few reasons. One, they know the cost for their benefits is going to be going down. They also know that the amount of benefits they have in most cases is going to be going up a lot. And so for seniors, or as we like to say, people 65 and better, that they're moving, this is a big way in which they move forward. And by me keeping the conversation a little bit open-ended, they can talk about things that matter to them. And that's important because, like I said, I know brokers who try to spend, I know one broker who tries to spend 15 minutes or less on every Medicare sale. And I think that's crazy myself. I think my average Medicare enrollment is about 3 to 4 hours of time with the client before they're ready for the sale. On that also, some of the stuff that dovetails that as well too is that very often they'll bring up stuff with respect to estate planning or life insurance, and Carl's not here, or investments, so it's a very natural, organic referral from there. And then there's disability that comes up occasionally, and there's qualifying illness. I'm not going to bore you with that because that's boring, and I'll do that specifically when we need to. Next one. So the main thing, so this is what, when seniors talk about Medicare, the first thing they always ask is, what the heck is it? And there's 2 parts to Medicare. There's Medicare Part A and there's Medicare Part B. And in most cases, people qualify when they turn 65. And Part A basically covers the hospital aspect of it, and Part A is free. And that's basically mainly what I want to touch on this slide. So Part B basically covers for everything except for hospital and except for medications. And so, long story short, Part B for this year, for most people, costs $184 or $185 per month. I say for most people because for people with low incomes, sometimes that number will go down, and for people with high incomes, that number can also go up, and that also ties back into Carl as well too. Anyway, so that is mainly what I wanted to touch on Part B. But you see, seniors, they don't have any idea what's going on with this stuff, and because it's a very different world, even though it's still health insurance, it's like, what does it look like, what does it feel like, when should I change, that kind of stuff. So let's move on to the next slide here. Enrolling in Part A and B, I deal with that when we get into the specifics about how do we enroll. It's the easiest way to enroll. But the thing is, so you can just get Medicare Part A and Part B and go along the way and see if it works out okay for you. Most people don't really want to do that. Most people want to add what's either called a supplement or what's called a Medicare Advantage plan, basically is what they want to look at. And because it shores up some problems for them. So with that, this is what a Medicare card looks like. Yeah, I get this question, this is what it looks like. So next page. So why do they want to add the supplement or add the Medicare Advantage plan to what they have? Well, the reason for that is that Medicare is going to cover about 80%, leaving, and we call the Medicare enrollee, we call them a beneficiary, Medicare beneficiary, and leaving about 20% cost to the insured, which they don't want, and they want to farm that out to an insurance company, either under what we call a supplement or under an advantage plan. And then you have your max. There's no max when you do a supplement and advantage plans. In most cases, you eliminate the problem of having a maximum out of pocket. The other thing too is that the supplements and the advantage plans do not include prescription drug benefits, and that's a whole issue that's important for seniors. One of the a couple of very important processes when we're working with a senior on Medicare is what doctors are important to you, what medications are important to you, and I won't bore you with how we get into all of that for them, but we do. On the medications, we have a tool that we use where we can put in all the medications specifically, and then we can come back and tell them, given these medications, these are the plans that are going to be the lowest when you combine both the premiums and what you have to pay for the medications. And so that is an important step. It takes time, but they need the help, and that's what we're here for. 1 minute, okay. Next page, Medicare supplements. I mean, basically, as we get into it, we talk about if they want a Medicare supplement, it's typically started about $160 a month to let you go to any doctor that sees Medicare, or if we move on to the next page, I'm not going to go through the pros and cons, we'll go on to the next page, and the next page. Prescription drugs, I already touched on that. We'll do the next page, one more, sorry. One more, there we go. On the advantage plans, many of those are free. Some of them we even give back some money to the client, but they're gonna give a smaller, access to a smaller network of doctors. And so this is a big part of the conversation that we have is, do you wanna have access to any doctor that accepts Medicare for a higher price, or do you wanna have access to a smaller network at a lower or free price? Which do you prefer? And this is a fairly lengthy conversation with seniors that can unfold in many different directions based on their needs and wishes and resources. And that basically was just, and so would love to talk to them both when they're turning 65 as well as after they're turning 65 if they need more help. In those cases, I can help with both of those. So would love to have a chance to have a conversation with those folks. And I can read my Google reviews, you can kind of get a feel for how most clients feel about the work that we do. So that's what I had. Thank you very much for your time.